Just because of the snow, I decided to give 2 minutes extra in case somebody is on the way. But special thanks today to Charlie and Teresa who braved the weather and came here. So others are, of course, we all live here in Vedanta Society, so we had to just travel from our room to this hall. Anyway, ॐ भद्रं कर्णैभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति Shanti. Let us now pray together. We offer our salutations to the all-loving being who endows all beings with consciousness. We meditate on the Lord, who is the origin of the universe. Lord, thou abidest in all, thou art all, thou assumest all forms. Thou art the origin and goal of all. Thou art the self of all. Thou art existence, knowledge, and bliss. Salutations unto thee. May the world be peaceful. May the wicked become gentle. May all creatures think of mutual welfare. May their minds be occupied with what is spiritual and abiding. May our hearts be immersed in selfless love for the Lord. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. Let us think of the core of our being, the center of our consciousness, where everything is still, no movement, no space, no time. On this core, we see the infinite, unimaginably intricate drama woven by time and space. They are together and yet separate. They meet without meeting. They dance together. At myriad levels. Throwing infinite colors. Infinite, intricate motions. Yet all is on this unchanging core consciousness, unaffected by time. We look for peace. In this dance of time and space. One gets it only in the core consciousness. Let us feel that. Om, peace, peace, peace. So, dear friends, let me tell you of a funny incident. In a village, there was a school, and then from the government, an inspector went to school to see how the school is running, because the government sanctions grants, and to see whether the grants are properly utilized, whether there are students in the school, and if the teachers are qualified, and so forth. Are the facilities available as per the prescription? So the inspector goes and then starts looking at the students' register. And there were not many students, about 70 students were there in the whole school. But the strange thing he finds was that all students had the same date of birth. And then the clerk who was doing the job, he was summoned. Hey, it is certainly not possible that all these 70 were born on the same date. How you wrote the same date for all of them? He said that the parents are illiterate, almost all. Then secondly, nobody knew the date of birth. It was not necessary, to know the date of birth, date or year. Actually, till I started the process of, applying for passport and visa, and then after coming to US, I didn't ever think of the date of birth and so forth. It is so. It was not necessary to remember all that. So it is. So he said nobody thought what date of birth for them. So I thought that the day that they came to get admission in the school, uh, for getting admission in the first grade, they have to be 6 years old. And so I just calculated backwards the date. That must be the time they were at least born around some of that time. So I just wrote the same date for all 6 years back from the date that they had come to seek the admission. And even the seeking the admission means they were all scouted, you know. They were not coming on on their own. They had to be encouraged, given some incentives to come and learn and get into the school. So all were registered with the same date of birth. And the inspector was getting furious. Why? This is not. And then the clerk smilingly said, what does it matter if you suppose, think of you, if you don't know your birth date? What does it matter what year you were born? Nobody knows. So whatever you write is the birth date. Or whatever you write, you cannot say right or wrong unless there is some matching that record which is impartial, correct, and so forth. Then that can be. Otherwise, what is time? That is the question, you know, what is time? We need a point of starting. Hey, from here, let us start counting. That is how the counting starts. We say it is 2024 AD, means measuring from the date of birth of Jesus and so forth, which again is embroiled in controversy. Was Jesus born on that day or not, and so forth. So it is time. We somehow think arbitrarily of a starting point and then say that this is such and such year of time. We all are aware of this very peculiar phenomena, peculiar because it is peculiar to everybody. We all know, sense what is called time, are aware of the passage of time, but differently. Although we all share, in a way, the same space, our mental movements, they differ a lot, and therefore the passage of time is not exactly moving psychologically at the same pace. It is after looking at the clock, we can say that yes, this much time has elapsed, because the clock becomes then a standard that doesn't depend on my emotions or Rajgopal's emotions, whatever it is. But then suppose a boring lecture that is to go for an hour is going on. Now people look at the clock. There is something wrong with my clock. I feel almost 1 hour is elapsed. Why the speaker is not stopping? The clock is showing only 15 minutes, but it must have slowed down. So the time becomes a very difficult thing to objectively judge. It is, suppose we have a clock that can get, that one agrees upon, then it is, we can with reference to that, we can say 1 hour, 2 hours, 24 hours, so many days, and so forth. It is that there is a story, a very nice story, old story, written sometimes in early 1800s, that very well-known story, Rip Van Winkle. Many of you must have read in their childhood. I read it in an Indian language when I was in the primary school. A very entertaining story, and I kept on thinking about it for a long time. That there was in the Catskill Mountain in that New York State, there was a small village mostly populated by the immigrant Dutch people. Most of those town names there are Dutch or German names. Like it is Catskill. Means, do they kill cats there? I was asking. No, I was told kill means water, So it is. And the surrounding areas, fish kill. That town is fish kill, means in that water there is fish, that's all. It doesn't mean that it is a killing something. So it is the Dutch Americans at a small hamlet there. And this happened in that story, as it were, before the Revolution War, when the British government was thrown away and American independence was achieved. So somewhere in the late 1700s, when this finally the British left the country. So, but before that, this man one day went with his little musket to do some hunting in these woods there. Mainly, actually, that was not the purpose. The purpose was to get away from home, because his wife was very nagging and this fellow was not doing anything. So, hey, do this. Hey, why you are sitting idle there? Hey, this is to be done, this has to be done. So, just to escape that, he took the musket and started going further into the hills. There is still that sign you can see on this road, Rip Van Winkle. As you drive in that area, you find that. I wondered every time, did this story happen here? Yes, it did happen there. So still that name is there, Rip Van Winkle. So this man, Rip Van Winkle, he was going, and suddenly he heard somebody, some unknown person, calling him by his name. And as he turned, he said he had a big barrel, and he wanted him to take it. So it was kind of a heavy thing. So both of them carried, and they went to a little gap, a ravine there, and then there a lot of sound was coming up. So many people were there, all attired in the old Dutch style, traditional Dutch garments, and they were playing the game 9 pins. I don't know what the game is, but that is the story says, 9-pin games. And then after that, they all somehow strangely seemed to know this Rip Van Winkle, and they all drank from that barrel. He also drank from it, and it was an intoxicating drink, and he got so intoxicated that he just lied down there. Now, when he gets the waking up sensation, it was bright sunshine, The place, as he remembered, as his memory limped back, he saw it was the same space that he slept last evening. He had come here and rested here, same space. But actually, he had taken his dog with him. The dog was nowhere to be seen, and his machete, that musket had become all very somehow broken and so forth. So he didn't know what happened. He looked where all those people had gone. Nobody was in sight. So he limped back. Somehow he felt lot of pain and went to his village. He could trace the road back to his village, but saw everything was so changed, drastically changed. And he didn't know what happened. The story is very entertaining, but the point here is that he went to where his house used to be, and it was all changed. And then he inquired about his wife, and those people, none of whom recognized him, they were and told, "Oh, that lady you mean? Oh, she passed away long ago." And they, as he was moving, he saw a little child which had strikingly similar features like him. And he asked, "What's your name, laddie?" And that little child said, "Rip Van Winkle." Oh, my goodness. Then it was learned that it was child of his daughter. The wife had passed away, the daughter was there. And then he met the daughter, and daughter said, "Well, my dad went away, and then 20 years ago." 20 years? What happened? And so he went before American Revolution and came back after American Revolution. So 20 years had elapsed. He saw his beard had grown 1 foot long. So that gave him some idea that the long time had elapsed. But he thought it to be just like that. Just evening he slept, drank and fell, and then this is morning, that's all. But so much time had passed in between from another scale. So time is a very funny thing. We all are in time. I am giving the talk on thoughts on time, but the talk is going on in time. All these attempts to unravel the mystery of time has this one flaw. When you want to study something objectively, one has to stand apart from it and then study it. That is why the science wants objectivity. One proper study is something that you should not get identified and tied to it. You should stand away and look at it objectively. Now with time it is not basically possible because this study is also going on in time. There had been in early 1900s a great scientific fiction, very much appreciated, and even now that story is talked about. It creates a lot of excitement in people because of the very important human psychic part associated with it. The story was Time Machine. Space and time both are components of this universe that we know. The one problem with time that everybody faces is that while in space one can go forward and backward. Marcella came from New York and can go back. She plans to go back to the same place that she came from. In, you can go forward, backward in in space. With time, we don't have that freedom at all. But our minds crave for it. Our minds go in future and then imagine. We fantasize about future. It should be like that. It should be like that, or plan. If not fantasize, we plan on the basis of what we know now. We will have it like this and like this, but it is, we are aware that this is just planning. It is that what will happen, what will not. So I remember I was asking long ago one architect who was instrumental in creating this hall's design and guiding through the construction phase. And when I asked him after about 7-8 months of the work have gone on, that why you did not think of that how these expenses will be. And now I see what was promised, now the expenses have risen. And he smilingly said that we don't have a crystal ball to predict the prices. What will happen, we don't know. On the basis of what we know, we predict something, but we don't have a crystal ball. It is, many people had planned some events for this today's evening, but they have to cancel because of the weather, although the weather predictions have become better and better. Still, till 2 days ago, it was not known how much snow will fall, when will it fall, when will it come stop, and so forth. Nothing was known because that is the meaning of time. We cannot really predict future. It is because it is prediction. There is a very nice philosophical problem that is discussed in science. Science and philosophy, many scientific discoveries have philosophical implications, and many philosophical thoughts, they provide a direction to the scientific research and so forth. But one such thing that always is very intriguing for scientists as well as philosophers is this idea of time. That time is, can we move forward in time? That was the story, H.G. Wells' very exciting novel. It was written in a novel style, but there was a lot of thought in that beautiful story, Time Machine. So the machine is not space traveler, but time traveler machine, so that we can travel in future and in past. The problem is that in physics or in science in general, we have the cause, and then that cause gives rise to effect. This is an arrow, cause to effect. The cause determines the effect, agreed. But can effect have an impact on cause? Can it travel backwards? Can that happen like that, the effect, and so that it will hamper the cause? That is not possible. The arrow is, it is therefore called an arrow of time, a very profound problem even now in science, especially in physics and science of consciousness, that it is an arrow. And so arrow has a head, travels in one direction. So time travels as an arrow. You cannot go back. And why? There is the thermodynamic explanation and understanding for that. That is because the time is basically the distance between the events. And the events go only in one direction. It doesn't move backwards like that. For example, one physicist gives this nice day-to-day example that you can have scrambled egg, and then you can scramble, and you call it scrambled egg. Can you unscramble it? You cannot unscramble it. From egg, scrambled eggs, an arrow. But from scrambled egg to unscrambled egg, you cannot really go in that direction. It is stated in, to tell it in kind of simplistic words, is that the events move from that organized to less organized or disorganized. They do not go automatically from disorganized to organized. For example, if you do not organize your home for say long time, do not clean it, do not put things in the right place, what happens? After some time, it all becomes disorganized. But then have you ever noticed or even thought that it will all automatically get reset and get into the proper shape? It doesn't happen. That it is scrambled egg possible, getting it from scrambled to unscrambled is not possible at all. Here it is, the scrambled egg. Now let me get my egg back. I don't want scrambled eggs. Suppose if you order in a restaurant scrambled eggs, and then they brought the plate in front of you, then you say, no, I have changed my mind. I want to eat just the boiled egg, not scrambled. Can you unscramble it? No, that is not possible. They will say, no, sorry, we can give you another egg. But this we cannot unscramble, you have to pay for both though. So it is. So the idea is that events go in one direction, and therefore our time also has to go in one direction only. The time machine kind of opened, at least theoretically, a possibility that, well, we can go about 1,000 years forward. Also, we can go backwards, that which has already happened. Let us revisit, for example, the crucifixion event of Jesus, how it happened, and see if we can now stop it from happening. Then it is very interesting and fantastic. I am using the word in the proper this word meaning. It is fantasy that let me go back. In fact, one of the psychological disorders is that one goes into that too much and thus forgets the present situation, always going in the past and tries to reconstruct the past. Suppose had I happened like this at that time, suppose at that time had I listened to that fellow, and then what would I have done, and so forth. Not only that, you go further. Suppose my father and mother had not met at all, then what would have happened to me? Yeah, it is all these fantasies that we enter into. When it becomes too obsessive, then it becomes a pathology. But otherwise, a common person is known to keep they going in that direction to some extent now and then, that go to try to recreate the past, even though in sane moments one knows that it is just waste of time. The past is past, cannot be remedied. But the travel into future seems to be more exciting. Suppose I want to know how the society after another 50 years would become. There was one nice this kind of a story that I had read, that we always complain that how things used to be so cheap in the past. Uh, you know, my dad used to pay just $20 rent for this kind of housing. Now I am paying $2,000. It's ridiculous. But that is the nature of time. It is, yeah. So this fellow predicted how the things will look after 100 years. That, after 100 years, I was feeling thirsty and I went to have a bottle of Coke. They gave me a small bottle and the price, I just returned the bottle. I can't pay that much. It is, for that bottle of Coca-Cola, they were asking $3,500. How can I? It's meaningless. Oh, it is. In my times, it was very different. That it was just $1 or so. About that, you could have a drink like that. Then I went to a barber, seeing that I need a haircut, and then the barber said okay, and then it was ridiculously high, but it is. Uh, the, I remember back in those days, you could get a haircut for about 20, 30, $40 like that, depending on the shop and the place. But now they said I have to pay $5,000. But I badly needed, I agreed. And then what happened was, while the barber was doing that cutting, he cut a little piece of my ear also, and then charged $25 extra for that. Because that is another, that was not in the contract. Contract was just for cutting the hair. So it is now $25 for cutting the ear, extra work. So it is. uh, so in future, what will happen? We keep on imagining things. And one feels one should be able to go to future and see that. But there is a fallacy in that movies were made on this, the book, and one physicist pointed out the fallacy, that although you are in that time machine which is moving, actually it is moving in the present time. You are sitting in the theater with the regular time. So you are not moving in the future at all. It is not possible. That is a contradiction. So you cannot move in future, you cannot move in the past, except on the vehicle of mind. Mind can do whatever. So this is the idea that time is a consumer of everything that we see. So everything comes in time and then gets consumed in time. And time is therefore a big, big eater, swallows everything. So, this is the very important idea, and therefore, time is equated to God. It is in the Kashmiri Shaivism, you see, time is the Shiva. When we see the secret of time, that is when we have become united with Shiva, the Absolute. So that is, time is that Absolute. And in Bhagavad Gita, you read that tremendous description in the 11th chapter when Sri Krishna is showing Arjuna his universal form, the form of the whole universe. And Arjuna is, he was so taken aback, undescribable that feelings, but he is still describing those, that what am I seeing? He says, Yatha nadinam bhavombuvegaha samudrameva dravanti tatha avami naralokavira vishanti vaktrani abhivijvalanti. That in, O Lord, your form, and in this form, your mouth is full of fire, and all this universe, including all we these warriors here, and the sun, moon, everything, it is like a river. Every drop in the river, and all such rivers, they rush towards the sea. Similarly, this whole creation, as it were, is rushing in your mouth, getting consumed there. Gives another analogy like that. Yatha pradiptam jvalanam patanga vishanti nashaya samriddha vegaha tathaiva nashaya vishanti loka tavapi vaktrani samriddha vegaha. That just as those the moths, they rush towards the flame, fire lighted, and the moths from all direction come there to get burnt, as it were. They probably don't know whether they are going to get burnt or not, but that is what happens. Millions and millions of them just rush and get killed. I had seen it many times when there would be a fire burned to get light in some such situation, and from nowhere all the moth would come, and afterwards we would see a big heap of the burnt moth. So similarly, he says the whole creation is rushing there to be destroyed. Yeah, it is true, friends. And Leli Himasmane Grasamana Samantat Lokan Samagran Vadanair Jvaladbhi Tejo Bhirapuri Jagat Samagram Bhasas Tavogra Pratapanti Vishnu. All these worlds that you are licking, all these people on all sides, while devouring them with your flaming mouths, filling the entire world with its radiance. If the sun, the moon, all the planets, In nowadays you can say, including black holes and whatever, they are just rushing into your mouth to get annihilated. So it is, and then when Lord was hearing this description, Arjuna said at the end of it that it is, I cannot understand anything of this. Please, uh, be shower blessings on me. I cannot withstand this tremendous expression. My body is trembling. And then Lord explains, and here comes the beautiful word time. Kalosmi lokakshayakrit pravriddho lokan samahartamiha pravrittah ritepi tvam na bhavishyanti sarve yeva sthitaha pratyanikeshu yodhaha. The first line is important for our today's context, that it is, I am the time. Lord says, I am the time. Kalos me. And everything thus is being devoured by me. And now it is, as you see, I am now devouring you people also in this war. It is, death is certain. Everything is rushing towards this death. Nobody can stop it or stem it. It is, every single thing is dying every moment. That is how it is. You may say, no, a person lived for 75 years, 80 years, but every moment the person was getting different. So the person at this moment has died to give rise to person next moment. So everybody is dying every moment. It is, the death is the law, that everything is going towards this time principle is eating up everything. It is therefore very difficult to see what the time, okay, God. And yes, the yogis find one beautiful principle here, that the speed of the time is related to mind. As we become, the mind gets more concentrated, the flow of time, as it were, gets slowed down. For example, children, suppose take a group, I have seen it many times, tremendously attracted to, say, a football game, watching Super Bowl, and then it takes about 4, 5, 6 hours sometimes. So they are watching with such attention. 6 hours just pass without really, it is they're sensing that, oh, 6 hours have passed already. And then if some of them are told, sit for meditation for 15 minutes, those 15 minutes become so long. They look at each other. It is not only 1 minute has passed. They become, because when the mind is not concentrated, time runs very, very slowly. It is, so it becomes very difficult to pass the time. Somebody has given example, when in a condolence meeting, everybody is told, okay, let us stand up and observe 1 minute of silence. And the feeling is that that 1 minute seems to be so long. Was it really 1 minute, or we were standing silent for 5 minutes? It is because the mind keeps on moving all over, and the time kind of therefore seem to be, inside moving very fast. And so we say a lot of time has passed, the clock hasn't moved. So you move faster in time. Your thoughts are moving very fast, but the outside the time is not moving. When the concentration is there, then your mind is not rushing that frantically. And therefore you do not notice that 6 hours already elapsed. It is like that. The time is, therefore the yogis say that as your mind calms down, it becomes more and more concentrated. You will not notice the changes around you. It won't matter at all whether it was a meditation going on for 1 hour or 2 hours. There is an incident, when the mind is so calm in the life of Swami Adbhutananda, that Swami Adbhutananda used to meditate a lot, and then he went to the bank of Ganges there to meditate. And he had these chickpeas, raw chickpeas, and he decided to soak them in water, and then after they are soaked, he would eat them. So he put those in the bed of Ganges with a stone on it, so that they will get soaked. At that time, that flow was so less in Belur Math near, because the river there is very close to merging with ocean. So the tides change, the currents change. And then the water started rising. He did not realize he was in meditation. The whole bed was full. He could not now take those chickpeas soaking there. But he was not perturbed. Okay, let me meditate. When it comes back again, then I will take. So when the water went down again, that means he was meditating about 12 hours, you see. It is. And then he took those and then ate them. So there the time stops. It is described in one of the beautiful songs written by Girish Chandra Ghosh, a disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, about samadhi, that the time gets arrested only in present tense. Means the time stops basically. And there is no past, future. Everything is one. Present. Kala baddha vartamane. Only the present. No movement of time there. So this is how one gets united with the time principle and then knows it, but even though one knows it, one cannot describe it. That is the situation there. Before, they actually took the formal monastic vows. Swami Vivekananda, Swami Abhedananda, and Swami Shivananda. They went to Bodh Gaya and then were meditating under that Bodhi tree or its that successors. And then suddenly Vivekananda, Narendranath then embraced Shivananda, then Tarak. And then what happened? There is nothing that Tarak or Shivananda spoke about it. They only said, yes, he embraced me. But the reason was that they were in such deep meditation and they lost this sense of where they are and what they are. And then Abhedananda describes later, at that time his name was Kali, that Narendra saw in Tarak the manifestation of Buddha. He saw him as if he is Buddha. Today is his birthday, Swami Shivananda's birth anniversary we are observing today. There is a very telling incident in his life. It is not probably narrated in details in his life story, but I have heard it from some reliable sources and has been written in one book with all details. And that is, when he was in Omkareshwar, in that deep meditation, he saw that a center of the order Ramakrishna mission is coming up in a particular place. He recognized that place to be Nagpur in central India. It is special to me because I joined there. So it is. And there he saw what is going to happen. It will be a center for publication of books. It will have such and such activities. And so outwardly the time was flowing. Ramakrishna mission gradually got established. Then he had come much later than this incident. Many decades later, he came to Nagpur and didn't speak about this incident at that time to our knowledge. And then things moved on. He came again and did the worship, laid the cornerstone for the new center. And then he had in mind who will be posted there. He was the president of the order then. But normally presidents do not take into, cognitions of such things, do not. These are administrative decisions. So this Swami, his name was Bhaskareshwarananda, he was already assigned to take up the charge of the newly found center in Gujarat, Rajkot. And then he came to salute his Guru, Swami Shivananda, taking his leave that, I have been posted to Rajkot and so I am leaving now. Swami Shivananda Mahapurush Maharaj always used to be in samadhi-like state. And when he heard, no, you are not going there. You are going to Nagpur. I have decided on that. So he immediately the wheels turned and his going to Rajkot was substituted by going to Nagpur. And he said that what am I going to do there? The center is not there. It is, and then I don't know the language. I don't know many people there. What am I going to do? And Swami Shivananda's answer was, you don't have to do anything. I saw already everything is done. Just be the instrument. In this chapter of Bhagavad Gita, also Lord Krishna says that everything is already happened. You have to be just an excuse. Things are already happened. This is how that even in the Bible Jesus mentions this in Sri Ramakrishna's life. We see that he speaks about the Divine Mother, that everything has been already scripted. This is the play that is going on according to the script. Now within this action, this activity, there is time, space relative to that story. Like we go to see a movie, maybe from start to finish, it is 2 hour movie. But within the movie, there may be times of so many months, so many years, so many decades. But all that we see in 1 month, 1 hour or so. So this is how this whole picture, it is there. It has already been scripted. Now you have to just act in your time. It has been done in a different time, but now you act it in a different role, different time. So that is how it becomes such a very difficult thing, that holding on to one position of relative time, and yet being connected to another realm of time, we get puzzled. What time we are moving in. It is told that in our, especially in the Patanjali's yoga aphorisms, that there are 3 types of space-time. That it is, one is this Sthula Kasha, means our gross body levels of time and space. And Patanjali describes everything according to, that's something that is our experiential level. So you can easily verify, because he was actually a science writer. Patanjali's yoga aphorisms are very experiential, scientific. So he says, now there is this subtle body, subtle world, time and space, which is very different, which one can verify in the state of dream. In the dream, the times and space become completely changed, as it were. What remains same is I. That is a very important fact to be noticed, that although the states change, I remain unchanged. The one who was waking is also seeing the dream. So it is thus the dream, it is called Chittakasha, the space in the mind, space-time continuum in the mind. And then there is the Chidakasha, that one can get a glimpse of in deep sleep. The time has no motion there. There is no space, no time. So that we can express later. But yes, there is the awareness that goes on, that is called Chidakasha. So at these 3 levels, you have the different spheres of motion and different spheres of time. It is, as you can see, imagine a wheel. Now, a wheel is moving. Now, suppose the wheel is, the radius is 3 feet, big wheel, a 3 feet long radius. Now, the particle on the outer rim, when the wheel moves, it moves. How much you have to calculate that if it is 3 feet radius, then how much will be the circumference? Pi into 6 feet, isn't it? So that will be the distance it will move. Now there is the kernel of the wheel, that is just maybe, its radius is just 5 inches, 6 inches. Now, the distance that it will move is comparatively, so short. So 1/12 of it. So that is how the time has different scales. The space has different scales. They are together, time, space together. And Swami Vivekananda, and in Upanishads and other scriptures also, you find this very beautiful idea, and that is really the, what you can say, the central point in understanding non-duality, and that is the time, space, they are the automatic products of our ignorance in which we see multiplicity. Not that things are moving in time and space, but our perception of multiplicity generate this idea of time and space. It is Vivekananda in that beautiful lecture in Jnana Yoga, Absolute and Manifestation, mentions, look at what is the space. There is nothing like it. It is dependent on objects. It is something, you see the separation, say between Marcella and Teresa. Why they are different? Because there is space between them. If there is no space between them, they are not different at all. How would you see the difference? It is like between the nose and the eye. Why they appear different? Because there is the space between them. So it is, the space is a product of seeing multiplicity. If we don't see multiplicity, there is no space. So it is an automatic, effect of seeing multiplicity. And it becomes very puzzling, because this multiplicity is false. It is just product of ignorance. And so same with time. It is the distance between the events. Instead of saying distance between the objects, distance between objects is space, and distance between events is time. So if we do not see the multiplicity of events, and what is an event? Change. Things change. And a properly observing mind will therefore see that they are not real, because they change. And so that change gives the rise to the sense of time and the measurement of time and so forth. So they are just an outcome of our ignorance of that one reality where there is no time and no space. It is, let us strive to experience this by understanding this principle of relativity and not objectivity of time. Thank you very much. Any questions? Oh, Charlie, you have a question?
Yeah. My theory is that everything's happening at once, and that if we could see that, we could go in any direction we wanted. We just can't see it because that's the way we're programmed. Just a theory.
Yeah, it is a theory that it is just a matter of programming. In fact, one physicist, he has written a nice book, Time and Space in Modern Physics. Now, it was written by a British physicist, Davis, but written about 45 years ago. So that at that time it was modern. Now it is not modern, but the ideas are very important. That it is that he says that because we see the events in an order, and that is how they time. And then why do we see that in that order? Because our brain is programmed like that. It is our brain being programmed like that, we see it like this. If the programming is changed, reversed, then we will see the events happening in completely reverse direction. That old people will get out of the grave and started walking and gradually merge into mother's womb and so forth, It is, the programming is like that. It is, yeah, that movie, Ramayana movie, there used to be that it is the film, and it was wound uh, in the opposite direction. And so it began with the killing of Ravana and rejoicing, and then slowly, in so called real time, proceeded backwards to the birth of Rama. So, it is, you are right there, it is just programming. There is no reality. How you program, that decides your time. Your theory is correct according to me. Any other question? Is there a question up there? No. So, uh, coming week, our Tuesday class will go on as usual uh, on the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. On Friday, at the same time, like 7:30, the class will also be on the same subject, that stories from Srimad Bhagavatam, but it will be the summarization of some previous classes, starting from the story of Ritra to the story of, including the story of Chitraketu, and it will be given by a brand new speaker, Brahmachari Adi Maharaj. He will be giving that talk. So, other programs will be okay. Sunday, there will be a guest lecture by a very interesting speaker. He is Sudhir Railkar from New Jersey. He has spoken here before also a couple of times, and the topic he has chosen is crossing bridge to spirituality. So, crossing bridge to spirituality, that is on coming Sunday at 5 p.m. Other programs like the every morning, evening meditation, prayers, and Saturday guided meditation and so forth will go on as usual. Today, now we will have the regular Arati. After the Arati, there will be special song and bio reading because it is birthday of Swami Shivananda. And then there will be supper. Now not so many people have come here, but then whosoever is there can therefore get a bigger portion of supper. Thank you. Oh, the closing prayer. Come on. May the Divine, who is Father in heaven of the Christians, Holy One of the Jewish faith, Allah of the Muslims, Buddha of the Buddhists, Tao of the Taoists, Great Spirit of the Native Americans, Ahur Mazda of the Zoroastrians, and Brahman of the Hindus, lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May the all-loving being manifest himself unto us and grant us abiding understanding and all-consuming divine love. Peace, peace, peace be unto all.
breaker of all our worldly bondage and adored by all. We adore you too. Stainless Lord, assuming human form. Stainless Lord, assuming human form. Transcendent yet filled with love. You free us from the stain of sin and ornament our world. Consciousness is a form. Your eyes always purified by knowledge. Your eyes always purified by knowledge. Looking at them, delusion is gone. Ocean of shining love and feeling, ever inebriated in your infinite love. Your feet always dear to your devotees. Your feet always dear to your devotees. Form a boat to cross this world. Reveal to us as God incarnate and the Lord of all things, helping us join with you. Your mind's always set in the divine light. Your mind's always set in the divine light. This we can see through your grace. Destroyer of our worldly sorrow and compassion soul, infinite is your word. Your lives offered for the world's deliverance. Your lives offered for the world's deliverance, saving us from darkness and fear. Renouncer of all lust and lucre, therefore you were always spurning sensual life. Lord of monks, you are the best of men. Lord of monks, you are the best of men. Grant to us pure love for you. You're fearless and you're free from doubting, with your mind very firmly resolved. Causeless refuge of your devotees. Causeless refuge of your devotees. Renouncing caste and birth. Our treasure is your holy faith, which take us very soon across this puddle of life. You give love even-sightedness, to remove our anguish here. Our treasure is your holy feet, which take us very soon across this puddle of life. You give love and even-sightedness. You give love and even-sightedness, to remove our anguish here. Greetings to you, O Lord, beyond both speech and mind. Greetings to you, O Lord, beyond both speech and mind. Yet you are the basis of both. O Lord, yet you are the basis of both. Great light of all lights, blazing in the heart's gift. Great light of all lights, blazing in the heart's gift. Darkness is destroyed by your light. O Lord, darkness is destroyed by your light. Greetings to you, O Lord, beyond both speech and mind. Greetings to you, O Lord, beyond both speech and mind. That you are the basis of both. O Lord, yet you are the basis of both. Great light of all lights, blazing in the heart's cave. Great light of all lights, blazing in the heart's cave. Darkness is destroyed by your light. O Lord, darkness is destroyed by your light. Langa ranga bhanga, these are all the sounds of mridanga. Langa ranga bhanga, these are all the sounds of mridanga. Spiritual songs devotees are singing for your worship divine. Spiritual songs devotees are singing for your worship divine. Jaya Jaya for your worship divine. Hara Hara for your worship divine. Shiva Shiva for your worship divine. Breaker of all our worldly bondage, and adored by all, we adore you too. Jai Shri Guru Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Auspicious and blessed, graciousness sublime, all noble lands you give to us, granting us refuge, all-seeing Gauri, O Mother Divine, our love to you. Creation, preservation, dissolution are your powers, eternal one. Nature's real basis nature's essence, O Mother Divine, our love to you. We come seeking refuge from anguish. Be our Savior through your deep concern. All our suffering remove, Goddess, O Mother Divine, our love to you. Victory, O Mother Divine, our love to you. Blessed Mother Divine, our love to you. Blessed Mother Divine, our love to you. Blessed Mother Divine, our love to you. Jai Shri Ram Krishna Dev Ki Jai. Jai Shri Sarda Devi Ki Jai. Jai Shri Swami Vivekananda Ki Jai. Jai Shri Buddhadev Ki Jai. Jai Shri Jesus Christ Ki Jai. Jai Shri Swami Shivananda Ki Jai. Today being Swami Shivanandaji's birthday, we'll sing the Parshada Vandanam, Sri Ramakrishna Parshada Vandanam, and repeat the line for Swami Shivananda twice. Jaya Jaya Rama Krishna Bhuvana Mangala. Jaya Jaya Rama Krishna Bhuvana Mangala. Jaya Mata Shama Shuta Oti Niramala. Jaya Jaya Rama Krishna Bhuvana Mangala. Jaya Viveka Ananda Paramadayala. Prabhu Ramana Shoshuta. Jaya Shri Ram রাখাল জয় প্রেমানন্দ প্রেম ময় কলেবার জয় শিবানন্দ জয় লীলা সহচার রিপিট জয় শিবানন্দ জয় লীলা সহচার যোগী যোগানন্দ জয় নিত্য নিরঞ্জন জয় শশী গুরুপদে গত তনুমান জয় জয় রাম কৃষ্ণ ভুবন মঙ্গল সেবা পর যোগীবার অদ্ভুত আনন্দ অভেদ আনন্দ জয় গত মোহবন্ধ যোগরত ত্যাগ ব্রত তুরীয় আখ্যাত শরত সুধীর শান্ত যেন গণনাথ জীবে শিব সেবা ব্রত গঙ্গাধর বীর জয় শ্রী বিজ্ঞানানন্দ প্রশান্ত গম্ভীর প্রধান গোপাল মাতৃ সেবা পরায়ণ শারদা শারদা পদে গত প্রাণ মন জয় জয় রাম কৃষ্ণ ভুবন মঙ্গল বালক চরিত্র জয় সুবোধ সরল নাগবার ত্যাগ বীর বিবেক সম্বল কথামৃত বরিশান গৌর জলধর গিরিশ ভৈরব জয় বিশ্বাস আকার রাম কৃষ্ণ দাস দাস জয় সবাকার রাম কৃষ্ণ লীলা স্থান জয় বারম্বার রাম কৃষ্ণ নাম জয় শ্রবণ মঙ্গল ভক্ত বাঞ্ছিত জয় চরণ কমল জয় জয় রাম কৃষ্ণ ভুবন মঙ্গল জয় জয় রাম কৃষ্ণ ভুবন মঙ্গল
for the birth anniversary of Swami Shivananda. A short biographical reading. His birth name was Taraknath Ghoshal. His monastic name means Shiva. His nickname was Mahapurush, Great Soul. He was born in Barasat, a small town east of Calcutta. He was born on 16th December 1854 and passed away on 20th February 1934. Lunar calendar 34. 11th day after full moon of Margashirsh. Education at Barashat Missionary School through high school. His religious influence. His father was a devout Brahmin who practiced tantric worship, who also visited Sri Ramakrishna on various occasions. His first meeting with Sri Ramakrishna was May or June 1880 at the home of Ramchandra Datta. Ramkanai Ghoshal and his wife Vamasundari prayed to the god Tarakeshwar for a son to be born to them after their first daughter was born. Shiva appeared to Vamasundari, praising her devotion, and said she would bear a son, which she named Taraknath, after the Lord Tarakshwar. An astrologer had indicated that this son would be either a monk or a king. This horoscope was tossed into the Ganges when Tarak renounced the world. Tarak's mother died when he was 9 years of age, leaving him and 3 sisters. Shortly after, his elder sister died, and then his second sister became a widow. These misfortunes had great impact upon young Tarak, planting a seed of renunciation. Although he did well in school, his interest was not in higher education. He had an indrawn and serious nature and spent much time in meditation and prayer. His father, Ramkanai Ghoshal, was not only a successful lawyer with a substantial income, but a noted tantrika as well. Much of his earning was spent in removing the wants of holy men and in housing up to 25 to 30 poor students at a time in his home. It was not unusual for him to provide board and lodging for 25 to 30 students at a time in his house. Later, when he became a deputy collector, his income fell, which forced him to limit his charities, much against his wish. At this time, Tarak left the 9th grade and took work for the railways in Ghaziabad and Mughal Sarai. Here, he practiced meditation for long hours. He also had become a member of the Brahmo Samaj at this time. His roommate told him of Sri Ramakrishna, who experienced samadhi, and Tarak determined to meet with him. He also had to be married at this time, an exchange marriage where he married the sister of his sister's fiancé, as his father did not have enough money for dowry for his sister. He was one of 4 married disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. Tarak gave his wife spiritual advice and taught her about his love for God, maintaining chastity in the year of their marriage before her untimely death. He finally met Sri Ramakrishna at the home of Ramchandra Datta. A month later, they met again, and Tarak saw and felt so filled with love, faith, and confidence that from then on, he looked upon Sri Ramakrishna as his own mother. He lived with Sri Ramakrishna during the last 3 years of his life. He was the first disciple of Sri Ramakrishna to renounce the world externally too. He was inclined to cry easily, and often while visiting Dakshineswar, and was told that such tears wash away mental impurities accumulated through the ages. Sri Ramakrishna also told him that in the future, many white-complexioned devotees will come here. During some time in 1885, Tarak Narendra and a couple of other disciples spent time studying Buddha and were captivated by his renunciation, forbearance, love, and compassion. At one point, during a long meditation at the Bodh Gaya, Narendra burst into tears and embraced Tarak, saying that he saw Buddha enter into Tarak's body. Sometime after Sri Ramakrishna's passing away in 1886, Surendra Nath Mitra, a wealthy devotee, received a vision that he was to provide for the disciples. Thus began the Ramakrishna Monastery at Branagore. Tarak and Elder Gopal were the first to live there full time. On that Christmas Eve in 1886, Tarak became Swami Shivananda. In 1889, he went on pilgrimage to many holy places. His particular love was for the Himalayas. He met E.T. Sturdy, an English theosophist who was leading a monk's life practicing Raja Yoga. It was through Shivananda that Sturdy later invited Swami Vivekananda to England to speak on Vedanta. In 1893 to 94, Shivananda headed for Rameshwaram in southern India and visited several holy places, spending time and doing intense sadhana, spiritual practice. These 3 years of austerities forged the character and personality that would later serve him as head of the order. In 1897, Shivananda preached in Sri Lanka. He trained Miss Pickett, a Western student, and sent her to teach Vedanta in Australia and New Zealand. Back in Balermat in 1899, Shivananda joined in the daily scripture classes for the student monks. At Vivekananda's request, Shivananda concentrated on opening and operating a center in Varanasi named Sri Ramakrishna Advaita Ashrama, and rather than preaching, he practiced non-dual Vedantism as an example for others. He continued to look after the affairs of the ashrama till 1909, when he returned to Baler and lived there for some time. In 1910, he went on a pilgrimage to Amarnath, a famous ice cave, in company with Swami Turiyananda and Swami Premananda. On his return, he fell seriously ill with dysentery, which proved very obstinate. He became especially careful as regards food after this and began to observe a strict regimen to which his long life was in no small measure due. In 1910, he was elected vice president of the Ramakrishna Mission. In 1917, Swami Premananda, who used to manage the affairs at Balermat, fell seriously ill, and his duties came to rest on the shoulders of Swami Shivananda. And in 1922, after the passing away of Swami Brahmananda, Swami Shivananda was made the president of the Ramakrishna Mutt and Mission. During this time, several new centers were opened in India, Singapore, Europe, and North and South America. A center was begun in the Nilgiri Hills near Kannur, where an itinerant washerman donated 2 acres of land to the order. The deity of this man had appeared to him, saying that some people were looking for land for a monastery, and that he was to do that. Until this time, Swami was not interested in initiating devotees, but a vision of Sarada Devi appeared to him and requested that he begin to do so. He emphasized the practice of japa and meditation along with work. Work and worship simultaneously was his statement to others. In 1924 and 1927, he went on 2 long tours to the south, during which he formally opened the centers at Bombay, Nagpur, Uttarakhand, initiating a great number of devotees. During this time, he focused on spreading the message to the Americas and Europe. Swami sent to these locales include Prabhavananda in 1923, Dayananda and Akhilananda in 1926, Madhavananda and Ganeshwarananda in 1927, Vivedishananda in 1928, Yogatmananda in 1930, Ashokananda and Nikhilananda in 1931, Vijayananda in 1932, and Yatiswarananda in 1933. Swami Shivananda, more popularly known as Mahapurush Maharaj, was a personality of great force, rich in distinctive color and individual quality. His leonine stature and dauntless vigor, his stolid indifference to praise or blame, his spontaneous moods, and his profound serenity in times of storm and stress, invested with a singular appropriateness his monastic name, which recalls the classical attributes of the great god Shiva. His health, which was already affected by asthma, high blood pressure, and previous cholera attacks, broke down still more. In May 1933, he had an attack of apoplexy, which deprived him of the use of half of his body, including speech. He would tell others, as I have a dog, Kola, so I am my master's dog. As a dog protects the precious wealth of its masters from robbers, so I am protecting the valuable spiritual treasures of discrimination, renunciation, knowledge, and devotion of the master in this monastery. He who stays here like a faithful dog will attain the greatest good. His inspired conversations were published in 4 Seekers of God. Also, monks and devotees left the reminiscences of him in the 3-volume Bengali book, Shivananda Smriti Samgraha. He passed away on February 20th, 1934. Salutations to Swami Shivananda.